Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show, Serving Nerve, where we talk about whatever we want. But today we're in the kitchen, and the dogs are running around. So that's a sign you know this is probably going to be a really good video. But no, today we're going to be making sushi. Sushi from scratch, because I love sushi. I don't know if you know this, I'm originally from Vancouver, Canada, and sushi is absolutely fantastic, and I love it, and I grew up loving it ever since I was a little kid. And, gotta say, in Texas, sushi is, it's pretty good, but it's questionable sometimes. So I figured, let's just, make it. Let's make it because I'm cheap. And buying it at the store and making it yourself, like buying the components, it's a little bit cheaper than the typical going out and eating sushi, especially when you eat it in the volumes that I do, because, let's just be honest, I eat a lot of food. So, so we're going to do that, and we'll see how this goes, and hopefully I don't blow up the kitchen while trying to record this video. But let's just get into it. We're going to make just sushi rolls. We're going to be making like tuna, avocado, cucumber roll type dealios. We're also going to be making some miso soup, and it's going to involve a few ingredients. I can list all the ingredients in the section below if you'd like. But to be honest, it's pretty simple stuff, so I don't think you're going to really need a lot of measurements and anything like that. Maybe for the rice, but whatever. Anyways, let's just get into the video. But before we start, there's one thing that you know we're going to need, and that is a cooking drink. Because when I'm in the kitchen and I'm cooking, a drink will go a long way in terms of my happiness in life. Italian, Greek-Italian here, woo. Greek-Italian cooking Japanese food. So let's just get into this, and let's see how this goes. I have no idea if this is actually going to work, and I have no idea if you can see me properly, so hopefully this works out. But let's just get into the video. Okay, so in terms of the drink, I was thinking, hey, I have vodka, I have things, I have stuff. I have simple syrup that I made with ginger infusion, but, the reality is, I just want a beer. I have one last Juice Force, and I have to say, Voodoo Ranger Juice Force is my favorite beer. It's like an IPA, really, really high in the, the good stuff, if you get what I'm saying. But I love Juice Force. If I could get a sponsorship on this channel, it would probably be, if I could, from Voodoo Ranger, because I actually do love them. But that's probably not good and would endorse alcoholism, so I don't think I should pursue that matter. But, saying that, we have our drink, and now we don't have to think about the problems that are going to be rising up from the ether regarding me destroying the kitchen before my roommate gets back. But, let's just get into it. So we're going to start off with the rice. Now, for proper sushi rice, you're going to need 4 ingredients. You're going to need the rice. It's going to be short grain rice. I had a friend leave this here, so we're going to be using some of it. This kind of rice is what you want to be using because it's short grain rice, so it's going to make the proper sushi. You can use other forms of rice, but it is not going to probably turn out quite the same. You're also going to want 4 teaspoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, and in terms of our mighty top hat and what it provides us today, you're also going to be wanting just some rice vinegar. It's pretty good stuff. You're going to want about a 1/4 cup of it, and we're going to put this all together and basically make a little cooked down mixture to accommodate for the rice. So that's kind of your seasoning for the rice. It's really not that complex. We're just going to take a little saucepan, put a 1/4 cup of this in there, 4 teaspoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon, just gonna throw it in here, salt, and then we're gonna get it all going. So how's your day going? Personally, mine is pretty awesome. I went to the store in search of avocados, and was muddling through, and could not find adequate ones that wouldn't cost me my entire bank account. But then I had a lovely lady, while I was going there, point out to me, hey, these avocados over here are literally perfectly ripe and on sale. I'm just gonna put a tiny little extra jar of that there. Yeah. And I was like, oh my god. And she only spoke Spanish, so it was very awkward. But she literally was pointing over in the other direction of the entire store, going there are also avocados over there, and they're organic. So it was pretty sweet. I was a lucky ducky today in regards to my findings. But yeah, we have the, composition right here, and I'm just going to cook it down a little bit. I will point to the stove at some point in time. I'm going to try and just angle the camera so that you can see what I'm doing. But do pardon, because obviously, the setup here is a little suboptimal. So, whatever. Anyways, I do have the little mixture, and I'm going to get a saucepan. We're just going to do this way. So I have the mixture on, and it's just going to be dissolving, and then I'll bring it back over here. I'm going to fix the setup in a minute so that we can capture this lovely area as well. but for the time being, this is what we're rocking. Now, the things that I have to mention, if you're making sushi, you can use anything you want, okay? For the filling, for everything. But you should be getting sushi grade fish for the sushi if you are doing anything with raw fish. And also, there is still a potential risk with, but I don't even care. We all know this already. We don't care. We literally will just eat it anyways. You know, parasitic infection and potential food poisoning really tends to pale in the wake of consumables when it comes to happiness in life. So, we all take the risk, and yeah, that's about it. Okay, so, like, literally, like, I love how I'm already, like, fucking with the camera. So I have a webcam, like, I don't know if you guys know my setup, but it's literally a webcam that I'm using all the time for my video making. So, it's a little awkward, but that literally is dissolved. We're just gonna leave it on the stove to cool down while we, you know, compose our rice. You want to use about 2 cups of dry rice, and then use equal parts water for the matter, that be. So just use 2 cups of rice and then 2 cups of water for it. And rinse your rice prior, because this stuff is gooey, and unpleasant if not rinsed until clear. So I'm just gonna rinse the rice and get it started. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm not really like that good at recording cooking videos. I don't really think ahead too much, but we're just gonna do this and then get it going. You can also finger the rice and do the finger method, where you just, you know, use your knuckles and your fingers to see how much you're gonna need, which I also have done and have done successfully. So do whatever you want. Just make the rice and make sure that it's not like goo. And, you know, once you get past that step, everything else is super simple. It's literally, like, just cutting up vegetables and stuff. Alright, so I have the rice. I already rinsed it. This rice is pretty good, not gonna lie. And then, you know, just take 2 cups of water and put it in there, or do the finger method and finger your rice. But, you know, I don't really want to do that. I don't want to get age restricted again like I usually do on this channel. So, yeah, we're not gonna do that today. Put it on high. Wait till it boils, and then literally put it to low and let it steam for the remainder until all the water is gone. It takes probably like 12 minutes. Make sure to lid the pot, my dudes. Please, dear God, lid the pot. Otherwise, she's like not gonna be having a good time. She's gonna be like pretty dry. So like definitely give her some grace and put the pot lid on there. While that's all going, we are going to start the cutting processes for our delicious components of sushi. I can't stop saying components, so that's awkward. But anyways, I've got a cutting board here. I love how I have to describe everything because that's what a cooking show does. And I'm just gonna put this rice away because, you know, I don't want to fuck this shit up. And, man, I am sleepy zonkin'. Dudes, I'm not gonna lie, I'm so excited for sushi. I literally am off. It's Friday night, and it's the only night I'm gonna be having any fun because I have to work for the next 3 days, and it's gonna be lame. It'll probably not be that bad. Oh, hello. There are dog treats in here. I made some dog treats for my, my doggos, or my roommate's doggos, so I'm gonna give them one. Here, hold up. I'll show you the dogs eating these, because it's cute. Does somebody want a peanut butter biscuit? A peanut butter biscuit? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Peanut butter biscuit, peanut butter biscuit, peanut butter biscuit. Somebody want a peanut butter biscuit? Oh, yeah. They like peanut butter biscuits. I literally just made these with oats, honey, and peanut butter. And they love them. Yeah. You love the peanut butter biscuits. Peanut butter biscuits. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We are very Canadian today. We're going back to a time when life was, I don't know, kind of lame, not gonna lie. Goddamn. But, yeah. So, we're just gonna wait for that rice to start doing its thing. I'm gonna get the ingredients chopped up. Regarding the ingredients, I just have a little bit of cucumber here. It's Japanese cucumber. Got it at the store, but any cucumber is gonna do. And then I also have a couple of avocados as well. So I'm just gonna slice these up and get them laid out for our utilization. I love how I've got like computer cords everywhere as well. That's very pleasing. There are computer cords also in the sink. Don't tell my brother. He would be very mad at how he taught me to use technology and now it's all just in the water. But, yeah. So, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know what the plan is for the day after this. Just to chill, I guess. I have actually like a bunch of videos to edit. Just gonna tell you about my day. Just have videos I need to edit. I have a couple that I have done, And I figured this would be kind of like a nice little chill vibe, kind of, you know, a break from the disgust and damnation that I usually infuse into my videos, and just make something fun. And oh my god, I have to mention this. Does anybody else find that the smell of cucumber, watermelon, or fresh cut grass is like fucking awesome? Like, they all have this weirdly refreshing, fantastic smell to them that like makes you just want to live forever. Fresh cut grass is probably like my favorite smell. So yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just yapping. I'm literally just stalking the rice right now. Just stalking the rice as well. So, we've got all that chopped up right in there. And then I've got my avocados. And I have to say, I don't know what other people think about avocados, but I am a total hipster for avocados. Like, I love avocados. They are some of my, like, favorite things. And yeah, I know I've got terrible knife skills. Please, God, don't ever tell anybody about my bad knife skills. You know, I'm surprised I haven't, like, cut off a finger yet, and I probably should knock on this wood just to avoid the potential that I may be cutting off a finger in the near future as a result of my cocky behavior. We're not going to be here to win any awards, so whatever. Probably not the best since I don't have medical, but... Okay, my people, the rice, she's steaming. She's steaming, she's going, I'll show ya. She's steaming. I got her on low. She's steaming and she's on low, okay? Alright? Yeah. I'm literally so fucking excited. This is like my favorite kind of thing. Like, sushi is probably one of my favorite foods. I'm pretty torn between like sushi, pasta, and sushi, pasta, potatoes. Like, I love carbs. They're like my favorite thing to eat. If you cannot tell, I freaking love sushi. It's like definitely like probably my number one favorite thing to eat consistently until I literally eat it until I'm like sick. And then I'll never want to eat it for like a week, and then I'll go back to it because it's one of those things I really just can't seem to get enough of. There's something really refreshing about sushi, so it's like a total vibe. I'm just gonna spoon these avocados out of here and put them in this bowl. So there are, you know, vegetables. Technically fruits, but, you know, botany is not my forte, so we're gonna say vegetables. But these are the greenies that we're gonna be using for the deliciousness that is, and then I'm gonna get the fish out, cut it, and then put it back in the fridge just so that we can get the miso soup done while we do this rice, get everything kind of dealt with, and yeah. Regarding the sushi, I have some masago right here, so it's just gonna be like fish eggs, and this is just gonna be used as like a topping for some of them. And then I also have some yellowfin tuna. So this is the one I got from the store. It's a cute little dainty dawdle. And we're just gonna take this like hunk of dunk and just get her ready. She's like dummy thick, and if you want to use it like this, you totally can, but I'm not going to, just so that I can actually get like more out of this, because otherwise I'm gonna be sad when I run out. So just cutting her. Comes with like a little wasabi paste pack as well, which is cute. Love that. Love the flesh of the innocent. The flesh of, aquatic life forms. So we've got fish noodles now. That's all we really need to do with this for the time being. And then same with the masago, we can just leave it like this. I mean, there's nothing we really have to do with that. And then I'm going to turn off the rice, and we have to let the rice fully cool before we do anything with it. So we're gonna go on slight hiatus, chill out for a bit, and wait for everything to just kind of chill out and, you know, come together and all that crap. Okay, so one other thing we're gonna do is we're gonna just start our miso soup. So basically, personally, I am a little bit unorthodox with my miso soups. There are a lot of ways you can do it, like you can use like kombu or whatever, but I use bonito, miso paste, and then I'll throw in some tofu, a little bit of garlic, because I like garlic, and then I'll do like a couple of mushrooms, and then I'll just throw it in like a pot and boil it down, and then I'll add some like green onion at the end. Like, it's not gonna be too crazy. We have a shiitake mushroom, some oyster mushrooms, some chopped up, you know, tofu, and then this fucking massive garlic clove. Look at her. She's fat. Honestly, diabolical in size. So we're just gonna throw these into a pot, kind of put it on to boil with a bunch of miso and a little bit of bonito flake in there too. This is the miso that I have. It's just red miso paste that I got from the store. It's not really that special. It's not fancy. It's just good. So we're gonna just give her a nice little snip. A little bit of a, you know, a little bit of a cut job right there, and then get some in there. I'm not really too, like, picky with my ratios. I just put in whatever looks good, and then if I can't finish it or whatever, if it's too much, I can just add more water or something. It really doesn't matter that much to me. I love miso, so it's not going to be a hindrance in any capacity. Okay, now we're going to put in our soy boy fuel, our garlic, clove, and then our mushrooms as well. Just pop it all in there. You can space it out, but I don't really care because it's all gonna be in me at the end of the day, so I'm not really too worried about texture. And then also, the reason I have these in a baggie is because they reek, but bonito flakes are delicious and I love them. So they're like just smoky, dried fish flakes, and I usually just pop in a few just to kind of like, you know, to add a little flavor. You can add as much as you want. I used to use a little bit, and yeah. The rice, I'm not gonna lie, is still kind of hard, so I'm just going to like cook it a little bit longer with a little bit more water, probably like an extra like third of a cup. But with this, I never measure my water for this. I'm just gonna throw it all in here. Like, I'm gonna throw a bunch of water in here, and if it's too salty, then add more water. If it's not salty enough, add more miso. It's really like, just do whatever you want. Like, it's just soup. This is like the complement to the ultimate component of the meal anyways, so nobody's gonna pay attention to this as much as they're gonna pay attention to the other stuff. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't really have a rice cooker, so I think just there's too much steam coming out of that pot, so it just used up some of the water. So I just added a little more. The pot's on to cook for that soup, so I'll just give you a quick look-see pop over, kind of show you what we're working with here. We have that. That's our soup. We got our rice. I'm not gonna open it, and then we got the syrupy stuff. And most importantly, we have a beer. Friday night, you know, couldn't get a shift today, so we're just hanging, making some magic in the kitchen because we can't in the bedroom. I also have to mention, you know, I do like music a lot, and I figured instead of just telling you guys the music I like, I have a playlist now that I have on the channel that is just a collection of whatever I want to put on it that's like musical. So if you're ever wondering what I listen to, that's the answer. The other thing I have to mention is, you know, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I hate putting, like, background music in my videos because I like when I have to re-watch the video to check the editing to make sure I didn't put anything too incriminating in there. I always listen to music in the background from my playlists and stuff instead of actually, like, listening to the background music in the video. So that's fun. But yeah. I'm not sure why I'm still wearing this top hat, by the way. I've been thinking about it, and I think I'm gonna keep it on, but it's quite nonsensical. I also want to talk about beer for a second. I never was one for beer, you know? I actually, when I first got across the border, was not super into drinking at all. But when it came to beer, I was really into, like, just light beers. Like, I would have, like a little bit of, like, Bud Light, which is, like, water. Or I'd have Yingling. Yingling Flight also was pretty good. It's, like, the light version of the beer. And, you know, I never was one for IPAs, because I'm not really into, like, hops. Like, I don't like hoppy things, you know? I might be a rabbit on the Chinese calendar, but I'm definitely not into hops. I might be jumpy like a rabbit and want to bang like one, but honestly, in the grand scheme of things, I'm not really into hops. So when it comes to beer, I'm like, but with Voodoo Ranger, Juice Force is pretty good. I like the regular, like, just Juice Force. They also have, like, Tropical Force, which is like pineapple. If you like Truly, it's pretty good if you like Truly. It's like just hoppy Truly. But it's not too hoppy. And also, the alcohol percentage in these is, like, psychotic. So I feel like I can get away with drinking less of them without, well, no, actually, I'm thinking about this, and I'm like, that's actually a really bad idea. It's like, the more you drink, I'm being dumb. But these are really strong, so do be careful if you drink them, because you don't want to get too crazy in the kitchen. I'm actually, like, really thinking about a lot of things, but I don't really know what to talk about. I guess we can talk about travel, because, you know, I've been really wanting to do some traveling lately, but I don't really have the money right now, so it's not going to be happening. But I've been thinking about places I'd like to travel to in the future, things I want to get done with my life, and places I want to go and where I want to live forever and stuff like that. How I'm going to have a castle or, like, a kingdom or like, a secret underground bunker where I can, like, hide bodies or something. I don't know. Like, own a bunch of land and then have a secret, like, I don't know, hideaway shelter or something. I don't know why, because it's not like I really want to do that. It sounds like a lot of maintenance work, but it would be just kind of fun to diabolically have that, or have a tree house or something. You know, I have a lot of ideas, but I feel like the execution of them is suboptimal at best and without reason. So, but yeah. I'm also thinking, like, I'm not quite certain as to what I want to do for my next videos, you know? I've been looking at some stuff. I don't want to make my content too repetitive. I don't really want to make it boring. I don't want to do, like, a one-trick ponyism, because there's so much in life to talk about. There's so many things in life to experience and converse about. So I really want to, elaborate and expand. But I'm just not sure as to what will be, entertaining, and what I can give a good, note of opinion on and whatnot. So if you guys have any questions about things that you want to see, or you have any kind of suggestions about things that you want to see, by all means do pop so in the comments below, because it would be quite helpful. If you like the cooking videos, we can do more of those, but I'm not sure how entertaining they really are. Just in general, I'm trying to kind of like compose a series of things that will be fun for us. And also kind of give an air of logic or entertainment or whatever the fuck I'm trying to do with this channel, because I actually have no idea. This channel started out really different from how it's going now, so it's like, I'm not too sure. But, as long as it's fun, I don't really care. As long as we have a good time, it's all that matters. It's all about having a good time. But, I don't know, I've just been thinking, just been thinking about stuff, what I want to do for my next videos, things like that. And I feel like this is also a good little break. It's kind of fun to just do a little cooking video. The setup is better than it used to be, which is why I'm more inclined to do so. At my last apartment, it was not fun. Not fun to make cooking videos. It was just such a finite space. I couldn't really move around, couldn't really angle anything anywhere. And I know that right now we obviously have, like, some setups and stuff that are kind of like, whatever. But, I don't know. So I turned the rice off. It's big chillin' right now. I just have to let it cool down, season it, kind of get it started. And then once it's ready, we can just kind of like start splaying it out on those sheets and then just do the rolls. It's really that simple. Sushi is actually one of the easiest things you can probably make. It's just collecting the ingredients, executing the rice, and getting things kind of rolling. I don't actually have a little like roller, so I'm just gonna use my hands. It might look janky, but it is what it is. But in the meantime, we just have to wait for everything to kind of like cool down, do its stuff. The soup is still cooking. It's just getting it going. So we're big chilling right now, my dudes. We are like legit just vibing. I mean, not to be egotistical when I talk, in musing of my videos, but I really like the last video I put up. I think that was probably like in a long time the best video that I've put up. And I hope that everybody else finds the same, because, out of all the things that I could put up online, being funny or making funny jokes or being cringy or whatever people perceive it as, or, reacting to people or, giving my brash opinion about things, the number one thing that I really want to do is just have you guys learn from the mistakes that I've made throughout my life, and also how to overcome, like, just dumb shit that nobody seems to be getting over, because it just seems to be collecting online continually and always will. So if somebody can actually find any kind of, like, good advice from that video, that's awesome. I'm very happy if that is the case. If not, my apologies for it being suboptimal content. Also, look at this. These are so cute. They're Spirited Away. My mom got me Spirited Away chopsticks. We have the dragon dude that I forgot the name of, just like in the blue. And then we also have that shadow guy, the no face or whatever. I freaking love these things. I use them all the time. But yeah, super fun. I don't know if anybody else is a fan of chopsticks. I personally have always been using them. I remember being like 6 or 7 chopsticking away. And always fun. Love chopsticks. So I'm just gonna take the rice and put it in this big bowl so it can kind of cool a little bit faster, because right now it's in a pot. Metal. This is metal, I know, but it's gonna be at least cooler metal than that. So yeah, this rice turned out really good. It is like properly done rice. I'm sorry it had extra water required. I wanted to give good measurements for this video, but ooh, it's hot. It's hot. But yeah, I wanted to give proper measurements and stuff for this video, but that's just not happening. So I have no idea how much water's in this rice. You're supposed to do a 1-to-1 ratio, but I literally, like, have no idea how much water's in this rice. It's, like, perfectly not crunch or mush, So I have no idea how much water. I'm gonna guess 2.5 cups or something like that, but I actually have no idea. And obviously, some of that was just evaporated off because I used a pot instead of a rice cooker, because I don't have a rice cooker. So, just do what you think is best, and honestly, worst comes to worst is you gotta do it again. She's very steamy and fun. I'm just gonna season it now. What's the consequence, right? Like, what could happen if I season it when it's hot? I have no idea if I'm supposed to wait for it to cool, to be honest. I've only done this with one friend 2 times, and he's usually the one who has done the rice seasoning, so I'm just gonna kind of just wing it and hope it works out. I have the little saucepan of, like, vinegar, sugar, and salt, and I'm just gonna kind of, like, pour a little bit of it over. Yeah, do all of it. cares? It's probably fine. And then I'm just gonna kind of mix it in there, and then let it cool and do its thing, dudes. And once it's cool, we can just start building our stuff. It's great. It's just as easy as that. My roommate's gonna come home and he's gonna be like, I see you made sushi. Any for me? Actually, I bet he doesn't want anything to do with the things I cook in the kitchen. They're quite diabolical at times. An explosion of flavor and disgustingness. What is your weirdest recipe that you've ever made, by the way? I have to ask this. What is the weirdest good recipe that you've ever made? Because for me, it's like, I've made some weird stuff, but I made this like delicious egg pasta dish. It's kind of a play on carbonara, but it's not. It has nutritional yeast. It had like nutritional yeast, like a bunch of seasonings and stuff, like Italian style seasonings, a bunch of eggs that I like whipped up and like slowly cooked so that it was like a creamy sauce. And then I put tahini in it and stuff. It was actually weirdly good. And I mean, like, it's kind of cringe, but it was really good. And then I put, I think, just like some basic vegetables and stuff in there. It was good. It was like a creamy sauce. Creamy, dreamy sauce. We like a good cream sauce. But it was not like a carbonara, but it was an egg-based kind of like sauce. So it was like eggy and creamy, and it was like, a little bitter from that tahini. Makes me, you know, feel like a human machine that can go forever. So it was fucking fantastic. I'm gonna stop stirring this because I feel like I'm just gonna mutilate the rice. But, you know, I'm just gonna let it kind of be like laid out. Then it's gonna cool, and then we're gonna get into it. I'm not gonna lie, I did taste this, and I have to warn, if you do not want to over-season the rice, because I might have over-seasoned it a little bit, do not use the entire quarter cup of liquidation. Use like maybe 3/4 of that amount or something like that. It probably will balance out once it's cool and absorbed into the rice, but I took a bite and I was like, that is a little bit much for my liking, because I love like adding soy sauce and wasabi and all that stuff, but I'm sure it's gonna like level out. Also, it tastes pretty good, so it's not like it's a penalization, but I have to warn, if you like a really like not flavorful component to a roll and you want to add more flavorful things throughout or saltier things or something like that, don't add as much of the rice vinegar mixture, or just add a little bit and then like taste accordingly. So yeah, it's not bad though. Also, let's do a food review while we're at this, because I totally got these, like, I'll just show you them. I got these, like, little, mitarashi dango, and I really want to try them. And they're literally, like, sugar, soy sauce, caramel color, rice balls. But they look really good, so I want to give it a try. Here's what they look like. They're just, like, a rice cake with, you know, like a sweet sauce on top. And we'll give it a taste test and see how it is, because I've actually never tried these before. I also bought some red bean paste mochi that I totally have had before, and they're freaking delicious, like legit. Red bean in everything. Red bean, literally, oh, I have to point out, I went with my friend to this, like, Japanese store, and it was, like, so fun, and he took me and we got this drink, and it had red bean, matcha, and like almond milk in it, but the red bean was like this delicious sweet little syrup at the bottom. Red bean in everything. Red bean literally is so good. And I bought red bean, by the way. I have to point this out. I'm so sorry I'm like pausing the review, but I have to point this out as well. I also got this organic red bean paste, and I'm totally gonna be using it for something. I might just eat it like on rice or something, but there are so many fun things I'm sure I can do with this. So maybe I'll try and make my own like mochi or a play on mochi or something like that. But I'm so excited because I love red bean. Like red bean, you know, beat this like I would myself up or off. I don't know which. I should probably refrain from such, especially if I'm going to be on the internet for a while and I don't want to get canceled. But to be canceled in a funny way would be better than to be canceled in a more severe way. Anyways, so these are the little Dealio Bops. Take a look-see pop, my people. They're pretty good looking. I gotta give them a go. Dude, legit, it's a vibe. It's salty, it's sweet, it's chewy, it can't be beat. I'm down. Yes, yes. If you ever see these at the store, get them. They are sublime, they are fantastic, they are amazing, I love them. Red bean, dongo, dongo, red bean, dongo, dongo. Happy day. Very happy day. A day of consumption, a day of creation, and a day of drinkage. Joyous. But yeah, So I'll get back to you once this is all cooled down. We're just gonna be chilling. We're just gonna be chilling. The soup's gonna be chilling. I'm gonna be chilling, and it's gonna be a vibe. I have to point out, it's truly unfortunate. The dogs hate when I'm like dancing around, and I have some weird obsession with doing it quite consistently. So the result's always going to be them barking at me when I'm trying to just vibe and have a good time. And now they're here hanging out with me, which means they also expect some tuna sushis in their mouths. Anyways, yeah, I'm literally just gonna be vibing with music while I like wait for this shit to kind of like cool off. Like I have nothing better to do. My Hero Academia, I've been still waiting to watch that 7th season, and it's there, and I'm gonna be doing it. That is my night tonight. It's going to be editing videos, My Hero Academia, eating delicious sushi-isms, and maybe rocking a buzz, because, you know, I'm already there. You know, Juice Force, like, please, if you ever try Juice Force, be careful, because it's a lot of APV, my dude. One, and I'm done. One, and I'm, you know, barrel to a shotgun kind of vibe, like, geez Louise. Anyways, I'm gonna be kind of getting myself together. I might squeeze some fresh juice because I do have some grapefruits and some oranges, so I might do a little bit of that, and then question if I'll add vodka to it, but I might refrain. Also, I have to ask, you know, I got this cheap vodka. It's been sitting literally right here, and I used a little bit of it for a recipe. On the basis of organic, it's literally ethanol, dude. Like, it's, you know, it is technically a poison for the human body. Like, what, am I gonna be worried about it being organic? Or am I gonna be worried about drinking it in general? So, I don't know, man. Oh, I was actually thinking also, you know, this is weird. I was thinking about trying to make my own mead, or my own wine or something, or, like, trying to figure out how to, like, do that. I haven't looked into any legalities yet, so I want to check that out first. Make sure I'm not gonna be breaking any laws. And then also, you know, outside of that, I was thinking, like, what do I want to do? Like, because I think mead would be with honey. I want to do some kind of, like, I want to learn, actually, how to do, like, distillation and create my own alcohol, maybe create my own beer. Like, there are so many things I could do, and I know people who do make their own beers here. There are just so many things I would love to try and make that I'm not particularly well-versed with, and one of them is actually creating my own alcoholic beverage. Because there's certain flavor profiles I always try to capture, but I never can quite get in a drink. So if I could try and make it, then it would solve the entire issue altogether. You know, it's just an idea. I'd have to invest in the equipment, you know, like make sure I have all the containment units, have the like buoyancy measuring device or whatever that measures the alcohol content, or the buoyancy that measures the alcohol content. I don't know how any of that works. So I'd have to look into that, but it's a very interesting idea, and I am actually quite inclined to try it out, at least on a very small scale for testing. And speaking of trying things out, I've tried this before, but I really want to try it again, is sourdough starters. That is another thing that has crossed my mind, and do pardon my constant, like, ramblings of ideas, but I always come up with all these ideas, and I would love to execute all of them. Like, I feel like, oh, there's so many things that I could create. And one of them also is getting into sourdough starters, because I did create one. It molded, was not good, but I do know my siblings have successfully done them. And I'm very interested in the idea of making my own sourdough bread, because I love sourdough bread. It's fucking amazing. Like, we all love bread. But, like, sourdough bread is, like, top-tier bread. Also, sourdough garlic bread, that sounds like a vibe. Growing my own garlic, that'd be cool. There's just so many things I'd love to do. So many things I want to make. And, you know, maybe on this channel I'll do it, or in general in life, and then I'll just tell you how it goes. Or perfect the craft, and then give you a video that actually executes the, constructs of my, you know, cognition properly. Yeah, just waiting for this rice to cool off, if it ever will. It's still warm. We can't do it. It's still warm, my people. Still warm. Still toasty popping, and I'm not putting it in the fridge, because then it's gonna get fridge smell. Fridge smell, it sucks, okay? Fridge smell in, like, delicious food? No, we're not risking that. It probably wouldn't, because there's nothing in the fridge that's gonna be that bad, but it's like, I just don't want to ruin a good thing, you know? Don't want to kill a good time. Especially since so much laborious effort has been put into every single grain of rice that sits before me. As you can see, I'm slowly losing my mind in the kitchen talking to a computer screen. Hello, how are you doing? It's so funny and ironic, because it's like, some people spend their Friday nights going out, hanging out with friends, hanging out with their families, doing very normal, basic human things, going to a bar, meeting people, scoring, you know? And then I spend them in my kitchen with a computer and a top hat making sushi. So, you know, if that's a measure of success in life, I don't know what isn't. It's been a little while, but the rice is literally still cooling, so I'm just gonna try and get experimental with drink making. I'm just gonna make a drink experimentally in the kitchen. But anyways, I'm just gonna squeeze some like grapefruits that I have sliced up. These are all just like sitting in my fridge and they need to get used. And then I also have like an extra orange over there, and I also have a ginger simple syrup that I mentioned, and I'm gonna be probably like throwing all that in here. I kinda just want some juice. So I might do that and see where this goes. You know, we'll hang out and have a good night together. This is literally like me talking to my computer screen. It's so sad because it's not like I perceive such. Like, I do know that when I edit this, it'll be more comical and entertaining. But it's kind of just like a little bit weird and awkward thinking to myself that I'm actually perceiving at the moment that I am talking to my audience in spite of it not actually being with you. Maybe we should do a live stream. That would be truly incriminating. And diabolical and evil, and we'd probably get, like, literally the entire internet mad at us. I don't know why I'm perceiving it so badly either, like, honestly, it's not that deep. I really don't have any terrible ideas, nothing that would actually be, like, a cancelable offense, but I always am just like, oh man, everything I make is just bad, it's all cringe, like, internet should kick me off kind of thing. It's probably just an insecurity basis or just being new to the internet or whatever. But it's like, I just don't want to be a loser. You know, there are a lot of loser people out there that come up with really bad content and they think it's good. And when I mean loser, I mean like people who genuinely like do like manipulative things on camera or like bad things on camera. Nothing on the cringe compilations. With all honesty, that's just people doing like cringe stuff, which is truly ironic, I have to admit. Anyways. In regards to recipes, I also have to ask, are there any particular recipes that you want to do? I was thinking shakshuka for one of these videos. I think it would be kind of fun because I love the idea. I'm not very big on, like, you know, cumin and tomato, but shakshuka sounds like kind of a vibe, and I love eggs. I love eggs and tomato together, like, they're really good, but I've only done, like, an Italian play on it. Like, I'm not as big on, like, cumin being in my food, so I'm always like, you know, with Indian food, it's a little different. With, like, you know, I don't know, like, Mexican food, like, sometimes it really works well, but I'm just very apprehensive because in Canada, the Mexican food, not good, not real Mexican. It's like Taco Bell's the best thing you're gonna get. Now, the sushi and stuff like that is amazing there, like, it's high Q stuff, but outside of, like, you know, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, a little Ethiopian, too, we have some of that. Indian is big there, but when it comes to, like, Mexican food, I have not ever experienced good Mexican food in Canada. It's just not there. And maybe it's just because we really don't have that influence, you know, we really don't have that many people who have that much of a good cultural vibe, so our idea of it is like Taco Bell. And it's ironic because now I'm in Texas and I'm like, god dang, every time I go for Mexican food, it's so fucking good. I'm just gonna butter knife this because I don't want to dirty like an actual knife. But like legit, like every time I go out for Mexican food and I have it like in, you know, Texas, it's great. But when I go and have it anywhere else, it's suboptimal at best. Like, regarding anywhere else, I mean, mainly, like, in, you know, Canada, Vancouver. That area, ooh, spilling juiceums all over my body. Like, that entire area, like, is so suboptimal in regards to, like, the overall, like, flavor profile that is provided. It's just Taco Bell, basically. That's as good as it's gonna get. So, yeah, I'm just juicing some grapefruits at the moment. Just getting swole with that pulp. I love how, like, some people will use a juicer. I really don't have a juicer, so this is what I thought would be the best method to the madness, at least. But I know it looks, disappointing. I'll get all these ideas and be like, let's make a cake out of fucking vodka or mezcal. Like, oh my god, I made this mezcal Negroni cake for my roommate because it was his birthday. It turned out so good. The first try, disgusting. Like, literally, like, I'm just making sure I'm recording, sorry. First try, fucking disgusting, tasted like shit. Like, it smelled bad, tasted bad, was the worst thing I've ever made in my entire life. Honestly, on a cake basis, no redemption. Literally no redemption. Second try was fucking angelic. I made Campari cooked oranges for it. So I basically, like, sliced oranges and then took sugar and Campari, salt, vanilla. Pretty sure I put vanilla in there. And then I just cooked them down and got the oranges all nice and, like, crystallized and gooey. And I also made a mezcal frosting that was vegan butter, mezcal, and I just kind of like wet it, and then I did, I think, a little vanilla, some salt in there as well, and then I did the main cake base, and that was the hardest thing to compose, because the cake base, like, I used all alcohol for the liquid, and I think it messed up the leavening agents and the density of everything, so what I ended up doing instead was I did, like, half of the liquid as alcohol with a combination of Campari and mezcal. So it worked out really well, and then I did water for the other part of the base, and also the appropriate fats and everything else. Liquid fats for that, and then I did my typical cake recipe, and it turned out so good. It was actually, like, I don't even like mezcal, and that was a total vibe. So, you know, I'm just saying. And I'm also really happy because, you know, I've been working on, like, this cake business that I've been doing, you know, and not working really well. I have to point out, I have no sales, no pop-ups yet, but I am on the in with some pop-ups. So, it's cool. I'm very excited. I'm very, like, delighted with the prospect of maybe potentially getting the opportunity to do that, because I never thought I would, you know? I've been baking literally for, like, years and years and years. I started baking, like, hardcore in high school, and I did it just to kind of, like, you know, make things for my class, and kind of just have fun and enjoy myself. I was like, oh, I've got all these bananas. I'll make some banana bread for the class. I also have to point out, I've always liked making things for people. Like, I've always been into creating things and also creating things for other people. So, for me, like, I always bake for people. Like, that's, like, the number one easy thing. Baking for people, cooking for people, building whatever stuff. Like, for me, that's, like, my vibe. Like, I love doing that kind of thing. But the thing I've been kind of noticing recently is, like, progressively over the years, I've gotten better at, like, intuitively baking what I know I can do. And even if there's, like, a failure to it, I know how to fix it. So it's actually kind of impressive. So I'm kind of thinking to myself, I'm like, I want to do these pop-ups. I want to actually build a business out of this. But I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do that yet. Like, I'm really apprehensive. And I have a lot of support from a lot of people regarding the matter. So it's actually really, like, it's honestly, like, quite, like, heartfelt. Like, it's honestly mind-blowing, because when I was in Canada, and, you know, much younger than I am now, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm never going to get to a point where I can, like, make a business out of this. Like, cottage baking over there, not quite as doable as it is in the United States. And then, depending on the state, like, obviously there are many limitations, but, you know, being in the states that I have been in, there's actually, like, a pretty good ground to be able to pull it off. So I was kind of thinking to myself, I'm like, man, this would be, like, a total vibe. And I'm sorry I'm ranting about this, like, but I'm just, like, kind of losing my mind at the prospect of actually being able to execute, like, all of my dreams, or, like, the things that I feel like I never could have garnered as a skill set. You know, it was just hobbyist stuff, and now I'm being able to push that slightly beyond the scope, which also relates to the last video that I talked about pertaining to hobbies, you know, your endeavors and things like that, which is also really cool. It's just an idea, though. I'm trying to really figure out the pathway that I want to take for the rest of my life, or for the current, you know, subset of my life, because obviously I could change at any time. But, you know, I'm in my mid-20s now, and I'm like, you know, with the way that we're going, like, it could either go really good or really bad. So I really want to try and be careful with my calculations, which sounds so much more like, I don't know, well-composed than it really is. I wonder if most 20-year-olds do this, or if I'm just being cringe. But anyways, bypassing that variable, the rice, again, still a little bit warm. I do not want to fuck with this rice until it's perfect. So do pardon the fact that I'm taking so long on this rice, but I just want it to be good. You know, I want you guys to actually, like, see the sushi not suck. And then also, this juice is probably like a full cup of juice. I'm gonna strain this. Don't tell my roommate that I'm just taking dishes like a little shit fuck. Anyways, but yeah, you know what? I don't know, man. I'm just thinking about life and stuff and how to execute everything appropriately and do what I want to do. And, oh no, she's drippy drops. Why did I do that? Suboptimal execution. Anyways, I'm just thinking about my life, my dudes. I don't know, just trying to, like, ramble off concepts and ideas, and I don't know. I just pull shit out of my ass, basically. It's more just me being a ditz, trying to figure out, like, what I want to do with my life. Spilling things everywhere. You know, I don't know. Damn, she's looking good. I might just have the juice. Do pardon if I come off as, like, psychotic, but, you know, I'm just trying to think, like, in a general sense, what I want to do with my life, you know? And it's like, I don't know, man. I'm just gonna wing it. Like, let's just be honest. Like, everybody thinks this way, and then in the reality of things, it's like, they just fucking, like, throw shit out there and hope it sticks. I do find that I'm always thinking about it. And I think it's quite common. Like, a lot of people in their 20s are just gonna be going like, oh my god, I don't know what to do with my life. I've got all these ideas and things that I need to do, and I don't know how to do them, and I don't know how to deal with them. Dude, that's another thing I was thinking of. I was like, man, I should be getting into bartending too. Like, damn. So many ideas, and yet so many things I have yet to execute. I don't know, man. There's so many ideas. That I like. It does not need the simple. It is just juicy fruitums. So, but yeah, I made this ginger simple syrup with my friend, and it's honestly quite a vibe. All you can do, basically make simple syrup, throw some ginger chunks in there, like get some ginger, and then just like stew it in there, and then it'll kind of infuse the delicious gingeriness into it, and then you can kind of use it as is. That is another thing I want to do, by the way. I keep on coming up with ideas, so I'm so sorry again, but I literally was like I was looking at like the mangoes, the berries, this berry compote that I made that's in my fridge, like pineapple, like all this stuff, and I'm like, what am I gonna do with these fruits? And then I was like, dude, I should get some like yogurt or something for them. And I'm like, dude, like I should get some yogurt, but I should make the yogurt. Like I should get a yogurt making kit and then figure out how to make yogurt. Like every time I see something, like I want something, I'm like, I gotta learn to make it. Like I really want to learn how to make everything. Like I want to be that good, you know? I want to be able to just make anything. Like, you know, the little, like I said, you know, pardon my reach, but, little, magician of the kitchen, if you get what I'm saying, you know, my dudes? I'm so annoying with the talking. Like, I need to calm my titties. I know that I have, like, nothing there, but I gotta calm my titties. Listen to some tunage. Can we get this over the top hat? I've tried so many times to figure out how to get these on my top hat. Oh my god. Oh my god. I think this is as good as it's gonna get. But it's not bad. Let's see if, like, we can vibe out to these tunes while we do this. And I know I'm cringe, alright? I'm just vibing. It's my Friday night. I don't have very many friends. Look at these babies. They're just vibing, dudes. You're so beepy, Bob. You're so beepy. Man. It's okay. Calm down. I won't dance. Jeez. I'm sorry, babies. I'm sorry I'm riling you up. I don't mean to. I have to point out, these dogs, by the way, like, they're not my dogs. They're my roommate's dogs. And they have saved my ass, like, 10,000 times over. Like, every time I'm having a bad day, and I have to suggest this, like, interactions with a cute dog, man's best friend, the ultimate way to bring deliverance from your suffering. Okay, so I'm pretty sure the rice is good by now. It's a little bit warm, but it's mostly room temp, so it should be completely fine. So I have the rice right here. I don't think we're gonna use all of it. We can try and make some nigiri as well, actually, if I can do it by hand. But yeah, I have the rice. It's chilling. That's cool. I also have the cucumber and the avocado. I have the masago, and then I also have the tuna that we cut. I have my drink, which is great, because that's going to make me not have to think about the consequences of my actions. And then I also have the nori. Now, the only thing is, I also have a bowl of water. And the water is going to be really helpful, because the water is going to keep you from getting this rice to stick all over your hands. The starch from the rice is going to be kind of like, you know, slammed down a little bit from this liquid death right here. So basically what we're going to do is, like, I'm just going to show you, but this is a bowl of water. I'm just basically pointing out it's a bowl of water, my dudes. Shiny side down, by the way. Whoa, 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 whoa. Blah, blah, blah. Yes! By the way, this is so fucking cool. I've done this by hand before, but I did it when I was like a kid, like making these rice balls. Suboptimal, and the fillings were not anywhere close to as good as they are when I got them at the store today. Yes! Yes! Ah! Ah! Look at this. Look at it. Victory, we did it, bitch! Fuck yes! Fuck in the fucking ass! Fuck yes! Fuck yeah. I win. Ugh. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Oh yeah, bitch. Alright. Alright, time to calm down. Time to calm down. The dogs actually are one useful source of me realizing that I need to calm my fucking titties. Because when I'm freaking out, they're freaking out. And then I question why they're freaking out, and it's like, oh, it's just me. But oh my god, guys, I'm losing my mind. Look at this. I'm sorry that the sink is a mess, but I'm about to, like, literally lose my mind with how awesome this turned out. Like, I'm fucked up about this. The fucking, like, deliciousness. Oh, never mind. Alright. Okay. It's here. I did it. I win. I win. I'm so happy. I literally am so happy right now. I have my soup, the miso soup, which I did add more water to, by the way, because it did reduce down over a course of time, but it's so good. I'm so excited. It's amazing. It's got little green onions in there that I threw in last minute. It is a total freaking vibe. I'm so happy. I'm sorry that I'm chugging this soup, but honestly, I love soup. I love miso soup so goddamn much. So going through everything, I put so many different components in all of these different sushis, and I'm honestly so, like, pumped. These are all basically the same roll. I just made a bunch of them. And there's no way I'm probably gonna finish these because I'm about to pass out. In regards to the awesomeness that is, these sushis are legit, like, such a freaking vibe. Like, they're legit just sushis. I'm sorry the lighting is suboptimal, but, like, dude, I'm so pumped. I'm gonna put them into some soy sauce, and I'm gonna put them a little bit of wasabi, because I've always loved wasabi. I used to eat it when I was, like, a little kid by the wad full. Like, I love spicy. I love nose burn. I love wasabi. I love everything when it comes to spice. And anything that hurts my very being physically tends to really feed my soul, which sounds somewhat masochistic. Do pardon my reactions being somewhat overkill, but the excitement, my pretty significant buzz, and the overall, like, effort that I put into this, and the fact that I managed to record all of it without it exploding in the kitchen, it's made me quite happy. So I have 3 different, like, rice balls that I made, all with different things. One is, like, a seasoned squid, one is a seasoned jellyfish, and the other, I think, is just Masago, and then I topped them all with Masago. And do pardon if I butcher any pronunciations. I'm so excited. I'm gonna try one of these. I basically got all rice in that one, but this is definitely the jellyfish one. It's really crunchy. It's a good contrast from the rice. If you like crunchy inside of something, I would recommend this or like seaweed. I have seaweed salad on the side, but if you wanted to actually do like a vegetarian option or like a vegan option, you could put this inside instead, and it would be freaking bomb. And I also have to point out the sesame oil in both of these. This one has literally the equivalent amount of sesame oil that this has. It would be a very similar flavor profile. So if you're like, oh, I really love like this jellyfish filling, but I want a vegetarian or vegan option, I don't know who would be into the jellyfish option because I'm not sure how popular it is. But like, dude, fill the rice balls with this like, you know, seaweed salad. It is like the same thing. It is totally a vibe. And then I'm pretty sure this is just the good old fashioned like Masago filled one, but I could be wrong. Okay, no. Nom, nom, nom. This one is like seasoned squid. So it's like, it's a little fishy. It's seasoned squid. It's pretty tender. It's a little smoky. So if you don't like crunchy as much, I'd still not recommend it if you don't like any kind of crunchiness. But this one, in regards to the like overall smokiness, the saltiness component, it has a good level of umami, but it's also a little fishy. So if you like a more fishy taste, I'd say that. I'm pretty sure this is cooked. If not, it's like smoked. And then this one's just a classic Masago. This is the Masago one. So it's pretty good. Like, we all love a good little bit of like fish egg in there. This one would be good with the soup. You like chug some soup, then put this in your mouth, or put a little soy sauce, a little wasabi, because it's kind of bland. Like the Masago, like it's seasoned, but like she needs a little something in there, you know. Like I'm gonna try and augment her. A little wasabi, nom 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 nom, and then a little sip of the soup. I'm sorry I'm not a very sexy eater, but I'm not here to make any, like, gains in, like, regards to my appeal to society at this point. But, I don't know. Out of everything, I would say the best things for you to try are the rolls. Like, try making some rolls. They're a little janky because I did actually, like, hand roll them. I didn't have the little roller, and I've never been good with using the roller anyways. But then outside of that, you should always have, like, some seaweed salad, because I think seaweed salad is, like, a total vibe. It's honestly, like, such a hard hitter. Like, the components that complement sushi are usually what make it so pleasant because it's such a simplistic composition of ingredients. But I do have to say, if you are not a fan of crunchiness, you won't like the jellyfish. You won't like the seaweed. I wouldn't even recommend the, I wouldn't really even recommend the squid. I'd say play more on just the rolls. If you like a more crunchy textural vibe, play on the other components. Num num num. I'm actually so happy with how this turned out. It's honestly like the perfect composition of sesame oil, fishies, cucumber, avocado. It's like a total vibe. Everything about this is honestly what completes the entirety of my existence, bypassing everything that I ever struggle with. Sitting down to like a proper home-cooked meal, something that I composed, although on a partial factory setting, something that I composed over the course of a series of hours to make perfect, has made me so fucking happy. And I love cooking. Cooking is one of my favorite things to do. And when I think about, you know, all the things that I've cooked throughout my life, sometimes, like, not making things overly complex, although this was extensive to make, it's not really that complex. It's just throwing, like, rice that you make with, like, a bunch of other stuff that you already pre-bought. It's, like, such a vibe. Like, the overall coagulation of ingredients really does help complement the soul. And, you know, I know this sounds petty or, you know, I don't know. I know this sounds, like, overly deep for what it is, because it's literally just me making sushi, getting buzzed, and then eating it on camera like a little mukbanger whore. But, you know, in general, it's a vibe. It is a total vibe, and I am here for it. And, you know, I don't know. I'm just chilling. The dogs are looking at me quite expectantly regarding the consumables before me. The only thing I'd be kind of cool with giving them is one of these like little rolls, but I don't think they're supposed to eat avocado. I could be wrong about that, but I might just pop out a couple of pieces of the tuna and then kind of give it to them later. I don't know. I already gave them a peanut butter ball, like a little peanut butter biscuit basically, so I'm trying to like not, you know, throw a bunch of shit at them in one go because then they'll throw up. I don't want to oversensitize them, but this, honestly, so freaking good. And I'm just so happy. I mean, today I was like, I don't know. Definitely, like, play your hand at making sushi at home. You know, out of all the advice I could give you, fuck the channel. Fuck everything. Fuck all of the things that I've said so far. Make sushi at home if you like sushi, and you will bust the fattest nut of happiness. Like, everything about this that I'm experiencing is ultimately the most sublime. It is truly the most diabolically happy outcome I could possibly expect in society. And, like, you know what? I overcomplicate life. People who surround me, you know, might overcomplicate themselves, their own lives. But when it comes to, like, food, it's a component of human existence that actually makes, like, things so simple. Which is so stupid. I'm just being dumb. Honestly, fuck it. Just food's good. I like food. You like food. We all like food. And I'm chill vibing, my dudes. When I sit down and I think to myself, I'm like, why was I so worried about X, Y, and Z? I just think, like, you know what? I just need to eat some food. No. I just think to myself, I needed to eat something that honestly fed my very soul versus just fed, like, you know, my tummy. So, I'm just really happy right now. One sec. I'm gonna get more soup. I need more soup for this. Soupies. Another thing I have to point out is I'm very blessed to get the opportunity. Would you like to come up? You wanna come up here? Sorry, the dog wants to come up. One sec. Come on, Biba. She's short, she needs help. Anyways, so one thing that I have to point out is I'm really blessed at this point in my life to get the opportunity to, one, afford what I just, you know, purchased to compose this dish, but also I have access in a massive city to be able to garner, like, you know, sashimi and stuff like that from a store. If you do not have that opportunity, try just making, like, honestly, the best thing about this is, ironically, the soup. If you can get yourself just a pack of cheap miso, a little bit of green onion, a clove of garlic, a couple mushrooms, throw it in a pot, you'll get a very similar appeal to the happiness that I'm feeling right now. Because bypassing everything that I've composed today, the laborious effort that went into making this dish, the fish eggs, the sushi rice, the rice vinegar, like, I've lived in states, and more so towns, where you have no access to this whatsoever. And I just have to point out, if you don't have access to everything here, like, don't feel like it's a penalization. The best components usually are the most simplistic. If you can't get your hands on tuna that's raw, you can still do like a really good like mayo style tuna roll with like canned tuna. If you don't have access to rice vinegar, just skip it and like just use normal rice or whatever you've got to make a roll, because it's still gonna give you a fun vibe. Make a recipe regarding like sushi that is something that's like beyond what you already know about. Create something innovative. Like, if you don't have access to like these kinds of ingredients, you know, because I haven't always, make a play on it, you know? Do some sort of fusion flavor, you know? If you only have access to a lot of southern flavors or something like that, use southern flavors and make a play on sushi. Like, if you want the same kind of like just fun, like if you just want to have fun with making something, like sushi's honestly one of the most fun things you can probably compose, in my personal opinion. It's extensive and somewhat laborious regarding like some of the, you know, components, because it's about creating a bunch of components and then putting them all together in a more like, you know, finite form. But generally speaking, like if you feel like you lack access regarding some of these things, don't feel like it's going to impair you. Use it as an advantage. But I have to say, out of everything I'm eating here today, the soup is my favorite. If you don't have access to bonito, you'll miss out on a slight smoky, fishy flavor, but you can still get that back by, if you really wanted to, like if you were really trying to like hunchback that shit out, just use like a drop of liquid smoke and throw like a can of tuna or something else that's fishy in there, and you might be able to simulate a similar flavor with augmentation. I don't know, man. I'm just trying to think about like all the things that I've had access to, location-wise, and what I'd be missing there. I've only had a few states where I've been missing certain components. When I was in Virginia, I'm sorry if this is like boring. I don't know if people like me eating on camera and stuff. I'm not really into it, but it's kind of like just a way of talking. You know, when I was in Virginia, particularly Floyd, Virginia for a while, the one thing that I really lacked access to was like any kind of ingredient that you'll see here today. You had access to like regular rice. You had access to like pastas, more like, you know, just basic like out in the country contents. You could get a lot of good stuff. Like the quality of the ingredients there is good. And also they have really cheap meat and stuff. But it's like if you don't eat meat, and I personally don't eat a lot of meat outside of like fish and stuff, you might be lacking, you know? The best you can get is probably like a can of tuna, unless you go like a couple hours out, or at least an hour out, and you go to like Christiansburg or something. And I know you don't know these locations, because obviously like, you know, I'm talking to the whole like internet here, but like there are certain areas where you just don't have access to these ingredients, and I can't really imagine what it would be like to have an even more limited ingredient profile. But, you know, if you don't have access to these things, like, as long as you have rice and you can get some seaweed, and even if you can't get seaweed, like, you can try and use cucumber to get a play on seaweed, but generally speaking, no matter how limited you are, you can still create something really good for yourself. If you can get access to sesame oil, or you can get some soy sauce, or whatever, sesame seeds, or tahini, or you can get access to, I'm just, like, throwing shit at the wall at this point. If you can get access to even just like anything, like you can make like a poke bowl or something. Like if you can't even get the seaweed for this, make a bowl, like a rice bowl with some veggies like cucumber and stuff. If you can get access to cucumber and stuff, throw that in there. Anything, a little soy sauce, a little sesame oil, a little like sweet chili sauce or something. Like, and then you throw like maybe some like canned tuna that you mix down with like mayo, you make it a little spicy. It'll be a fun vibe. I'm not saying it will be the same thing, but I'm just trying to kind of think because, you know, throughout my life, I haven't really had access to these things, and I'm so lucky to get the opportunity to indulge myself now. And it's really nice to be able to, like, sit back and think about the things that I can compose from the resources that I currently have. So I just have to say, my people, you know, I'm not here to, like, mukbang on camera like a little slut. I'm just here to tell you, like, this was fun. And I really want you to also have the same level of fun. So please do try and indulge yourselves in some sort of cooking endeavor, some sort of experience. you know? And if you have any questions or anything like that, or you want advice, you know, I've been in a lot of situations where you're making something from nothing. And also, there are tons of other people on this planet who've also made much more from much less than I have. So, by all means, do try and, like, find more information if you find that you're lacking maybe a means of access to some of the ingredients. And outside of that, in a general sense, even bypassing the concept of ingredients and stuff like that, or like creating sushi or whatever, like what do you want to see made out of nothing? Because I really do love cooking. Cooking is probably like, I know I don't do it on the channel a lot, but cooking is one of those things that I really do truly adore. And if I could, like, I would cook all the time and just cook. Like, you know, I don't mean to be weird and deep, but the one thing I want in the future is I want to be well off enough to just be able to sit back and cook all the time and make that my life, because I love cooking. It's one of my favorite things to do. Outside of eating, cooking is probably one of my favorite things to do. I love cooking. I love eating. I was raised by a wonderful woman who loved to cook more than anything else. And, you know, she definitely raised me to have a very similar perspective. And she would literally be like, hey, what do you want? Like, I'll make it for you right now. If I don't have the ingredients, I'll get the ingredients. I can make something similar. Whatever you want. And she was like a magical woman, because she was the first person in my life, outside of, you know, a few other people in my life, to really open the doors in regards to I can make anything out of nothing. So I have a really, like, motherly association with cooking, which I think a lot of us do. But do pardon me constantly going off. Anyways, I don't think I'm gonna really eat the rest of this. I'm gonna save it because I'm pretty full. And I also have a massive desire to, like, just chill out and watch some anime. But I just wanna tell you guys, like, I don't know, man. There are a couple of things that I experienced today that have made me hopeful but sad. And I don't wanna elaborate and be, like, weird and, like, talk shit on my channel about shit that I go through in my life. But everybody does it. So, But, like, now I'm thinking about it. That seasoned squid, pretty on point. It's pretty freaking tender, but again, that fishiness, some people won't be into that. It's quite savory though, you know? Goes good with rice. But I've been going through some shit lately, and I'm not gonna lie when I say that. Like, when you see me in my videos, and I'm, like, talking shit, I don't wanna just, like, roughly use my emotions to, like, bash at people, because I think that's stupid, and it's annoying, and I hate it. And, you know, I also don't want to weaponize my own emotions against other people, because that's what people do all the time, and it's stupid. But I really do hope that, like, my statements and stuff and the things that I say, like, don't, like, come off as really negative. Because the number one thing I want you guys to feel if I'm talking to you on camera, or if I'm making some kind of video, even if it's just a stupid reaction video, or if it's a video about me talking about fat acceptance or something, or whatever else I try and come up with a reaction to, because, you know, it does get viewership. Some people find that it really helps hit the cognitive G-spots, and it really helps them understand where I'm coming from. You know, in spite of all of that, I really hope that, like, the content I create helps you kind of, like, get where I'm coming from, and it doesn't give you, like, a negative perspective on, like, things that you would otherwise view as positive. Like, one thing that I always get worried about is not the idea of, like, getting canceled and stuff, or, like, people hating me or whatever. It's the idea of, like, feeding people information that's gonna make them, like, more negative or more unhappy in life, you know? And I know it's stupid because it's so petty and kind of dumb, but it's actually something that genuinely, like, when I've watched YouTube in the past, because I've been on YouTube since I was a kid, I've been on YouTube since 2005. You know, I remember being like a 5-year-old child and watching YouTube and just musing over everything. I watched it when it was at its very beginning stages, and then I grew up when YouTube grew up, you know? And, you know, the number one things that have fucked with my head the most when I watch YouTube is when somebody's playing on someone else's emotions, or they're, you know, someone's saying something really negative and there's no solution. And it's not even their fault sometimes, it's just a really negative thing. And I see something negative. It must be similar to, like, what it would be like when you're in, like, I don't know, the 40s or the 50s or the 60s or something, you get the news and it's really negative and all that shit. But it's like, you know, the number one thing I want you to take from any kind of video that I make is, like, it's not all black and white. It's not 0 to 100. It's not supposed to be really depressing. It's like, even if there's a really depressing topic, you can take something positive from it and learn from it. And I know that I'm trying to, like, kind of give you guys, like, a good message at the end of this, because I've just been basically making sushi and getting drunk in my kitchen. But in a genuine sense, I really do hope that you guys find what I create for you entertaining. And, you know, even if it just brings you, like, basic, like, joy, happiness, comedy, humor, whatever you want. Even if it's just somebody to laugh at online, it's totally worth it. Because what else is there to life other than to laugh and also enjoy yourself at this point? We have evolved to a point where we have a society where we can just joyfully play our hands. So, I don't know, man. Damn, dude. I have endless sushi. The human body weight's worth of sushi. Nom nom nom. So I think I'm gonna end the video here. I really hope you all can take like some good shit from this or like have fun with it. Get some ideas, make some recipes, make some sushi. And if you like this kind of content, I can make more. I don't know if it's particularly enticing or desirable. I don't know if people really like it. I don't know if people are gonna find it funny or stupid or annoying. But generally speaking, I'm not particularly like uninclined towards the matter of being able to elaborate or expand on my content. In fact, I really do endorse such because I don't want to just be like some one-trick pony who's throwing a bunch of shit out there and just making reaction videos all the time. I think it's like kind of lame. And I know it's easy, it's like fun. It's fun. It is fun. And I love editing, so it's not like a penalization. But I just want to have some fun in other matters. Like, I want to explore new things. I don't want to become like, you know, boring in my own eyes more than anybody else's. Because, you know, there's always going to be somebody who's going to watch a video, no matter how boring it is. If you push the algorithm's G-spots, you're going to find somebody who's going to watch your video. I'm not really that worried about that. I'm more worried about, like, just boring myself and feeling empty inside when I made YouTube particularly to start kind of, like, pointing out things I wanted to talk about. And if I were to just, like, talk about the same thing, it wouldn't be how I want to talk or what I want to talk about. So, that's kind of the video. I know it was kind of stupid, but it was also kind of fun. So it's totally worth it for me. I don't know about you, but I hope you enjoyed it. And tell me what you think in the comments below. What content do you want to see? What kinds of recipes do you like to make, actually? That's another big one. What recipes do you want to see if you want more cooking videos? Like, what do you want? I'm kind of curious, and I want you guys to have a good time on here. So, yeah, tell me what you think in the comments below, my people. It has been lovely, and I hope to see you next time. Slater.